images and stories of our young people who leave this place to go and seek employment. Eventually they are hoodwinked because many of them are taken. You're going to work as a security guard, you're going to work in a restaurant, in whatever the case might be, and they end up in an illegal, coercive prostitution ring where they are sexually abused. It is the responsibility of government to care for Ugandans here and Ugandans abroad. I'm actually surprised that government has not come out to communicate to the country about this situation and what they are doing. We had expected that that should have happened with immediacy, so that we know you are in charge, so that we know you are concerned about these young Ugandan people. Government has not done that yet. I don't know why. Many of our young people who go for these jobs come back in body bags. We see them crying out, saying, government, help us. Okay, at the very least, to transport the body back. Government doesn't do that. We don't understand why. Honorable Speaker, as we are demanding for a statement from government, we want it to be a lot more action-oriented, even before the statement. Can we see government begin to take steps to protect these Ugandan citizens? Because you see, a number of them go through these farms that are registered by you, government. They export them, externalize them to wherever, and then they end up in this confusion. We want to see action. But most importantly, Right Honorable Speaker, the bigger issue we need to resolve as a country that we need to work hard towards is finding a remedy to youth unemployment. The 2024 population and housing census, National Population and Housing Census, showed that between the age of 18 and 30, 16.1% of those young people are unemployed. What's even more bothersome is that those who are employed are either underemployed, they're doing very odd work that only enables them transport. What they earn is simply enough for transport. It doesn't include feeding, they can't get where to stay, and that's the challenge we have on our hands. So any young person is desperate to go and work wherever. So when they hear of an opportunity, they will run quickly to go and board the plane, unfortunately for them to come back in body bags. That's something we need to resolve and remedy as a country. But now that we have this at hand, we want to see action from government taking quick steps so that a few months down the road, we are not hearing stories of other girls being brought in body bags. Thank you.
Government. Mr. Speaker, when this documentary came out, the Prime Minister directed the Minister for Labour to investigate the matter and actually even update Cabinet in the coming days, but also take some action. So government is already in action in terms of investigating the matter and making sure that we prevent this to happen even to other Ugandans. Regarding whether government should take over the process of externalization of labor, I think we are doing it better with private companies, as long as government has a hand in sieving out who is doing this. On the issue of the bill, the minister, as he makes a statement, he will also be able to update the House on how far the bill has gone. Thank you.
Thank you. So, Honourable Minister, let's have the statement next week, but especially looking at those cases of Ugandans who died, we really need to know how you followed up, and we need to know whether these people indeed went through farms licensed by government or they went on their own. Okay? So, thank you. Honourable colleagues, matters of national importance. Yeah. Honourable, you want to reopen this matter?
No, just a quick procedural issue, Mr. Speaker.
I love your new style of the beard, Honourable Nambesi. It's better than the old one.
Thank you for the compliment, Right Honourable Speaker.
Oh, that's for profits.
But on a serious note, I come with a procedural issue about the statement that you require from the line ministry. Mr. Speaker, you are aware that the prevention of Trafficking in Persons Act 2009, providing even penalties and prevention measures, is implemented by the line Ministry of Internal Affairs. Under the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development, which the acting Prime Minister or leader of government business is alluding to, the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development is even in charge of having some of these unregistered, unlicensed companies that have actually degenerated into exploiting our girls and boys that are trafficked to the Middle East. Don't you think if we were to get, isn't it procedural right, Mr. Speaker, to have both, in order to have a comprehensive report, to have both ministries furnish this House with the two statements?
Thank you. Now, honorable colleagues, let's have a statement from the Minister of Gender, who will consult with the rest of the government agencies, including Ministry of Internal Affairs, on those parts, because this one is the one in charge of licensing. Okay? So yeah. So, but the minister can consult the Minister for Internal Affairs or any other government entity that does not even fall under their ministry to give us a full statement. Okay? Yeah. Honorable Secretary.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I want to agree with your guidance that Minister of Gender takes lead. But I wanted to point out to something specific, that we are very concerned about the element of crime. And in the report by BBC, there was something disturbing that the authorities in Dubai seemed not to have treated this matter very well. And I wanted to observe that this is not limited to the authorities in Dubai, because we have the international police, Interpol. And as the Minister of Gender moves into act and furnish us with a report, I thought it is good that as a Parliament we observe and provide guidance that in the immediate we want to interest very keenly the government of Uganda through Ministry of Internal Affairs, and specifically through the Interpol as an organ, to ensure that they pick up this matter, because quite good leads were provided in that report by BBC, and so they can swing into action to start on the investigations about those very gruesome deaths that were reported about. Thank you very much, Right Honorable.
Thank you. Now I can see you're submitting as a retired security officer. You've already swung into action. This is what we expect the minister to include in the statement, what they would have done as part of the action, okay? Yeah, so we can't do much about that now. But I've also been informed by a colleague that we need to know the companies which are licensed to take people abroad. That when you go to the ministry to ask which companies are licensed, because we receive many calls, was taken by this company, was taken by this company, you find we don't know. And I think they should be published. They should be published so that they are clearly known. Colleagues, let's move on. Please, Lord.
Honorable, thank you for granting this indulgence. Firstly, to join you in welcoming my colleagues, some of our leaders from Western Uganda, led by the NUP Deputy President in charge of Western Uganda, Madame Julie Jacqueline Tukamushaba. Thank you for welcoming them. One of those people is going to be standing against the Right Honorable Thomas Tayebwa. Such is democracy. But the indulgence I was seeking, Right Honorable.
Is that why you asked for space?
No. that was just a quick preamble. But what I'm seeking your indulgence about, a matter that is very urgent, Right Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, school term has opened this very week, and we have a challenge. UNATU, the teachers' union, has called for a sit-down strike. They are concerned about salary disparities, commitments made to them by government over the years that have not been fulfilled. And these teachers are saying, let's lay down our tools because our engagements with government have not brought through any fruit. A few teachers have gone to school. They are saying, let's teach because it's the end of term, let's not disorganize the students. But others are saying, look, it does not make sense for me to go and teach other people's children. Mine cannot go to school because I cannot afford. These are very critical concerns. This is the closure term where assessments get to be made, people get to be promoted or otherwise. Can government help us understand what they are doing about this? And my hope, because in the past, Right Honourable Speaker, when there have been such strikes, government comes and they are intimidating these teachers. I saw today the acting RDC of Kumi, the one James Chiomia. He has threatened to arrest all the teachers in Kumi who are on strike. That's unacceptable, completely unacceptable. Government, you normally say, you teachers, be patriotic, go and teach. Well, you be patriotic first by fulfilling the commitments you made to these teachers. It's an alarming issue. Government needs to tell us what are they doing about that right now. Thank you.
Honorable colleagues, when I saw this issue, sometimes as a leadership of parliament, we reach out to government to ask if they are commenting, if they are able to comment on certain issues when you update the House. Yes, and I reached out to the Minister for Education personally, and she told me there are consultations which they are making and they are going to update us, but all of them are aimed at resolving the impasse. So I'm going to again cross-check because we shall need this House to be updated. I totally agree with you. Matters of national importance, Honorable Kwizera Wagahungu.
Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, thank you very much. Right Honorable Speaker, there is an issue that has attracted national attention regarding the rural electrification in this country. When we rationalized the REA, we expected better performance. And when there was the Umeme buyout, we also expected better performance. But we are seeing things going to the contrary. I am a member of Natural Resources Committee. We appropriated in this House 36 billion for rural electrification. And we also provided for areas of 40 billion, which is about 80 billion. This quarter which is running, Minister of Finance released only 200 million, which is only for administrative expenses. And now there is nowhere in the whole country where there is rural electrification projects going on. And the contractors have also stopped because of the indebtedness of government. I would like the Minister of Finance. No, the Minister of Finance is the one supposed to release money. Instead of releasing money, say 20 billion per quarter, you released only 200 million. And I don't think that the energy ministry wanted it because even the energy itself, they are complaining, they are stuck. Yeah. My prayer is that you direct the minister of both ministries, finance and the energy, to explain to this country why we expected better performance after rationalization and even after Umeme buyout. Can they really explain to us? I thank you very much.
Minister for Energy, this is your area. If the Minister for Finance is a supplement, he will. But this is your docket.
Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, what he has stated is actually a fact that while we have the plans and we thank you for budgeting appropriately, but the releases are poor. We are not able to actually go to where we promised to deliver electricity.
Have you engaged the Minister of Finance?
Yeah, Minister of Finance is here, but I recall Minister of Finance made a commitment that they are going to provide the money. So I ask my colleague to actually come and to clear the air.
Honourable Minister, anything to add?
Thank you so much, Right Honourable Speaker. This is not under Ministry of Energy alone. If you realize all our entities that spend on development budget, they didn't get money this quarter. But in quarter 2, we are working out the numbers and we shall be releasing 50% of the development expenditure. And this will take care of rural electrification, roads, and other areas of spending which are critical. So I kindly appeal to the House to be patient with us. Next quarter is not far from now. Funds will be available.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so if the ministry is to release 50%, then that would mean they would have covered money for first quarter and second quarter, which would be up to date. No, just me. Yeah. Honourable colleague, I don't like it when a member shifts from his seat and is coming toward the microphone. He should always, in fact, coming towards me and with a more than serious face. Honourable Sechkubo, when you're coming toward the speaker, come smiling so that I know no problem. But he shall come.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right Honourable Speaker, the issue that we are talking about is so disheartening because in Kabale, where the minister who has just been talking comes from, what I know, that from August of last year up to today, the people, the teachers in primary who are on government pay, they also secondary, it's the same, those teachers, and also even the other institutions, if they are on government, they have not got their salary. They have been missing month after month up to today. I brought it on this floor of Parliament, and our leader of government business, the Prime Minister, came in and told us that he gave me a paper without one answer, but it was put in the pigeonhole that he has written a letter to the Minister of Education and Sports, and she will be telling me where it is. But so it's very, very bad to make sure that these people who are working for government, they have been brought down, and they think that everything should go the way people want. But I talked even to the minister himself and asked me why I had to talk about it when he's around.
Thank you. Now, honourable colleagues, salary is a statutory obligation. It's not a matter of release. Okay? So we need to know, is this a matter of a release or it's beyond release? Honourable Minister, do you have anything? Maybe that Honourable Sarah Pende had an issue to do with salaries. I think she can raise it so that...
Thank you very much, Right Honourable
But
Speaker.
Honourable Minister, we need to know whether it is a matter of a release or beyond. Because for salaries, you always release money.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. And Right Honourable Speaker, I want to appreciate you because you gave me an opportunity to raise the issue of the police officers who had missed salary, some for 1 year, some for 9 months, and they were working. And some of them got back to me after we raised this matter that the police authority had to take action. Yes, they thanked me because a good number were paid. Maybe some still have not been paid, but most of them have reached out. But secondly, Right Honourable Speaker, I have equally received a complaint from the civil servants in my district in Tororo, and also teachers in some other districts. Right Honourable Speaker, the issue, when I tried to follow up with the responsible cows and the Minister of Public Service. The excuse they are giving is that government is migrating from HCM, from IPPS to HCM. But Right Honorable Speaker, if government is integrating, how comes some of these people received salaries earlier, then for 4 months they had not gotten salary, and then received their salary, and now for 2 months, 3 months, they have not gotten salary again. So it is not an issue for me. I believe this is just being used as an excuse. But it seems some people within government may be doing something, either, creating loopholes so that you see me and then I reinstate your name. It could be, it's possible. So Right Honorable Speaker, can the Minister of Finance, I know the Minister of Public Service is not here, come and explain to us how somebody can be on the payroll today and next month they are off and the other month they are on. If I'm working, why should people be on and off? Is there something that is being done between finance and these local governments that is creating this? And Right Honorable Speaker, we are frustrating these civil servants. They earn very little. You can imagine children are going back to school now. How does somebody who has taken 2-3 months without salary take the children back to school? So can the minister explain and also tell us what action they are taking on these cows? Because you actually bring lists of accounting officers here. Why should we have this happening in local governments?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, Honourable Minister for Finance, you can answer what you feel you can and relevant to you. Then those which are not, we can ask the Minister for Public Service.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, through the chair.
Honourable Msasizi Sechkubo is at last smiling. So since he's smiling, let's take an opportunity.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, mine is in response to the Minister's assertion that money for REA can only be released in the second quarter at 50%. Right Honourable Speaker and members, you are aware, the question of budget is under the Public Finance and Management Act. We know that in each financial year we have 4 quarters. Now, failure to release money during the first quarter, you are skipping a lot of work plans that ought to be done, meaning that by the time you release the 50% in the second quarter, you are clogging the system, the plans and activities. And that's why you have the quarterly releases. Unless when it is in a nature of front loading, there you can say we gave you the money. But for you to withhold development budget, promise, and really this is cutting across the entire economy, and you promise we shall be able to do so in the second quarter. Right Honourable Speaker, we act according to the timelines. It therefore means that government, you are failing the entities who are the users of these budgets, and consequently, as a country, you'll be having money released but not spent. And the questions of accountability would arise, and therefore leading to systemic failures in the system. Can the minister stand and confirm that that wasn't their intention, and he promises to do so immediately, because the activities are all at standstill? I thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Thank you. Honourable Minister.
Right Honourable Speaker, I want to start with the issue of salaries. Mr. Speaker, we, from the finance side, we know, as you said, that salary is a statutory obligation which must be paid by 28th of every month. Payment of salaries, Mr. Speaker, is decentralized, meaning that accounting officers at every level are in charge of their wage bill. Perhaps there are issues of ins and outs, skipping 1 month or the other, but from our side we know that our wage bill for government is fully financed and all obligations are paid monthly as they fall due. The one of Kabale, there is an issue there which we are dealing with. I was supposed to have dealt with it during the budget, but I didn't get proper. There was miscommunication. There were 2 requests. One was picked and another one was not picked at that time, but I'm handling it. Now, Honorable Sech Kubo, yes, you are correct. The budget is split into 4 quarters. Every beginning of quarter by 10th day of the first month of the quarter, we release funds as and when funds are available. Mr. Speaker, yes.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister of Finance, for accepting, and Mr. Speaker. So as you answer the Honorable Sechikubo, the clarification I am seeking is whether this was done deliberately or you did not have money actually to release.
Thank you, Minister, for giving way. Mr. Speaker, if there are any civil servants who are requested to fill forms almost every month, are the lower civil servants, including teachers. And whenever they are asked to fill forms, they fill them. The challenge that clarification I'm seeking from you, we had a similar challenge in Kalungu. How often do you supervise cows to know how they are carrying out their work? Because the problem is not on the teachers. They feel whatever you want, spending money every day, and with their meager resources. But when you ask cow, he says the challenge is in the Ministry of Finance. He says that we have directives. Secondly, when do you communicate to our civil servants to know that there will be a delay of a particular time so that these people can take some patience waiting? But I can say, Honourable Minister, through Mr. Speaker, civil servants from the lower level have filled the forms as and when are required. But they are always frustrated on that. But when do you supervise the cows? Because the monthly returns can be a cause for failure to send the money. You know that one. And at the end of the day, teachers suffer. But the challenge is not on them. Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, as a member of Parliament, I share the concern Honorable Sewung is raising. The endless filling of forms, especially at the district level. And I want to beg the indulgence of the House that we sit with our colleagues in public service and we come up with a harmonized response to this matter, because it is both finance, public service, and the districts. Honorable PPF, Semuju, is asking, do we have the money or not? We have the money, but the priorities. The money we have is less than the needs. So what we do, we prioritize. What do we pay first in quarter 1? What do we pay in quarter 2? What do we prioritize for Q3 and Q4? But at the end of the day, we strive to finance the budget fully by the end of June. So in the first quarter, our main priority is debt settlement. We make sure that all our debt obligations are cleared in quarter 1. Then in quarter 2, we go to development. And truthfully like that, not forgetting that statutory obligations must be paid as and when they fall due, and also the protected votes. These ones must be, their funds must be released quarterly basis, as and when they need it. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable, for the record, this Honorable Semuji belongs to PFF, not PPF. No. Us who used to be sick, we know the pain of PPF, sir. Yeah. Honorable Minister, how much time do you think you need a statement? Should we say public service is here? No. No, I don't say Minister for Public Service. So, Honorable Minister, you think a week's time is enough? So that we have a comprehensive statement.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I think a week is adequate for us to jointly work on this statement and inform the House.
Thank you. Let's do it Wednesday next week. Thank you. Honorable Milton Muuma.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, colleagues, I rise on a matter of national importance, and this is to do with the stalled construction works at Busoga University site in Iganga. Mr. Speaker, on Sunday, I paid a visit to go and register also the progress made by the UPDF Engineering Brigade, which was contracted to do the rehabilitation, reconstruction on the existing infrastructure. Mr. Speaker, what is on the ground is that works are at 70% of what is expected. But they did commit to be done by June this year. And the commitment from government was that August this year, the university was due to start. Mr. Speaker, as we talk, the site is abandoned. There's no work going on. There was a lot of excitement and commitment from the Minister of Education, who came to hand over the site to the UPDF Engineering Brigade. The commitment made was that by August this year, the university will be starting. And there was a lot of excitement and anxiety. Mr. Speaker, my prayers are two. That one, since over 3.8 billion was already paid out to the construction team, let them embark on the 30% that is outstanding so that the university starts. Secondly, we want an update from the Minister of Education and Sports on how far they have gone as far as establishing a public university is concerned, because their commitment was for last month, August. We're in September, and there are people, there are students who had expected to enroll last August. So they are now in between to know what is happening. So we request the Minister of Education to come and update the country and the stakeholders on that matter. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. This is a direct matter. The Minister can update us tomorrow. It's a direct matter. Thank you. So let's get the update from the Ministry tomorrow. Honorable Ephraim Obiraro.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I raise a matter of national importance. One, as a member of Parliament from Obuhoju West, which is a coffee growing area, and two, as a member of the Parliamentary Coffee Forum. Right Honorable Speaker, in July this year, the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries circulated the form which I'm holding here and I later on the table, requesting the willing and needy farmers to ask for coffee plant rates due for this season, which is September and October for planting. Right Honorable Speaker, a few days ago, we talked to some of the people in the Ministry of Agriculture, and they are saying, one, that there is no coffee because the policy changed. Now we wonder, Right Honorable Speaker, if the policy changed and the people are in need of coffee, then the Ministry of Agriculture saturated forms for requests to create anxiety and expectations. My prayers, Right Honorable Speaker, that one, the Ministry of Agriculture responds and fulfills the promise it made through this advert and publication requesting for applications. Two, to put a standing promise or standard for how farmers throughout the country will be receiving coffee plant rates. Right Honourable Speaker, I beg to move and request to lay the form on the table for reference, which was situated by Ministry of Agriculture. Thank you very much.
Thank you, kindly. Honourable Minister, just hold on, Honourable Minister. Honourable Minister, hold on. He has to mention the statement he's laying. Honourable Virano.
Right Honourable Speaker, I'm laying here a form circulated by the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries requesting farmers in Uganda to apply for coffee seedlings, which was done in July, and I beg to lay it on the table.
What is the source? Where did you get the form from for record purposes?
The form was circulated on the Parliamentary Committee of Agriculture on the forum for that forum that was circulated by a commissioner from the Ministry of Agriculture.
Is the commissioner
a commissioner
is on your forum?
Yes, yes, please.
The government official is on your forum. Chair Agriculture Committee. Oh, who is in charge of the forum?
Thank you so
because
much,
it's
Right
source
Honourable
of documents
Speaker.
Also, it's important.
It's true that application form was in our forum, but not put by a commissioner. A commissioner is not a member of our forum. In our forum, we have members of the committee and the technical team. Thank you.
So, Honourable Minister, let us first know whether the Minister knows about the whole of this. Honourable Minister?
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, first of all, the person raising the matter is a member of the Committee of Agriculture, Animal Industries and Fisheries of the Committee of Parliament. And we have appeared before them. They know that the policy shifted. The money which was for seedlings and planting material was taken to PDM. We have also ably saturated lists of satisfied farmers who can give genuine planting and stocking materials. However, there has been increasing demand for coffee seedling, especially areas which were traditionally not coffee growing but are suitable, like northern Uganda, Zombo, and some new areas. We are still under consideration, Right Honourable Speaker. I beg to be given time to give a comprehensive statement on coffee in a week's time. Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker.
So for now, Honourable Minister, there are no seedlings being distributed by the government.
There are no seedlings to be distributed.
Or to be.
What is available for us now is to support the already existing farmers with fertilizers to make sure that we existing coffee, and it's going to be done through the district and extension extension workers.
Thank you. Honourable Chair Agriculture.
Thank you so much, Right Honourable Speaker. It's true that the policy was shifted. But in our plea as a committee, even the time we were rationalizing, we complained to His Excellency the President on the need of more seedlings and the amount that a farmer needs to incur for him or her to plant coffee. Right Honourable Speaker, in the corrigenda that we received in the last budget processes, government gave in funds for procuring coffee seedlings. And as I'm aware, in this quarter, there is already release for coffee seedlings. But there is tension. Yet, on ground, farmers want coffee seedlings. Like for northern Uganda and eastern, gardens are ready for coffee seedlings. Budget was passed. In the last quarter, funds were released, but it was diverted for harriers. Now, I am concerned. And this is something that this House has to help the nation on. There was appropriated funds for coffee seedlings. Now we're talking about fertilizers, we're talking about chemicals, we're talking about inputs. Are we really fair? Are we really equitable? Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable So.
Sir, I pray that General Kanyantore can be listening to me as I raise this matter. There is a challenge in running of government institutions. Already the form here is for Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries. But when you go to PDM, it is under local government. That's why it was taken. So the questions they're asking you, my good friend, are supposed to be responded to by Ministry of Local Government, which is supervising and managing PDM. But the form coming out for coffee seedlings is from Ministry of Agriculture. So how do you go and organize your house? Because what the chair is saying, for them they passed the money, but you brought PDM here and local government, but you are running away from your document. So how do you appear here? So, Honorable General Bright.
Right, Honorable Speaker. I was very, very clear. I said I will bring a comprehensive report in a week's time. And I've also given you the circumstances prevailing now. We can only also, you must be aware that the government in this regard would respond to demand. There is a demand which is existing. In the areas I've mentioned, mainly areas which were traditional not coffee growing areas, but which are suitable for coffee. We have also demand from central region and other regions. So I will come with a comprehensive statement over the subject matter, right, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable colleagues. Let's get a comprehensive statement on Tuesday and next week. I was only concerned because you see, when a colleague brings a statement, when I was talking to Honorable Biraro, I thought it was an advert. But when it is like a form which has no source, who owns it, that's why I was asking what is the source, okay? And you can see the confusion that we are in. No, Honorable colleague, you know how the procedure of raising your matters of national importance. Please. My office is always welcoming, and I miss you there, so next time you pass. On this particular issue, Jonathan?
Yeah, Right Honorable Speaker, thank you very much. My concern is that government has to take Ugandan seriously. You know you have a mandate to deliver services, and you are the same government, Parliament has provided money for you, and then you issue a call which is in July this financial year, coming from the same government, and then you reach here, one minister disowns the whole process. And I've always questioned whether these ministers are actually serious, that the money that is provided to them to run Uganda, to provide the services that people need, and that confusion, we're always dealing with it here, each and every time. Can they go back and organize? And then show us, I know we have 6 months, we have no options, 6 or 7 months to entertain the government, but they should be serious, because we cannot be wasting time, and then we entertain these sorts of things. It's really disheartening. It will actually waste time of members of parliament, that you come and ask questions, and then there is no plausible answer from government. Are they in charge? Have they been demoralized? Are they tired? What is the issue?
Honorable Bright, let's also pick Honorable Namuga. You respond at once.
Right Honorable Speaker, I do thank you for giving me this opportunity, but I also want to seek clarification from the Honorable Minister. He said that fertilizers are more on demand than the seedlings. You will clarify. Right Honorable Speaker, as he comes with a statement, Right Honorable, let him also update us on how far he has gone on payment of the seedlings that our people supplied the previous season. Yes, the fertilizers on demand, but you have over domestic arrears of close to 60 billion. When do you intend to pay our farmers, right, Honorable Minister? You need to also give a statement on that.
Thank you. Yes, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, we are serious, and I'm serious for that matter. Because whatever I said is a statement of facts. I did mention, respond that I'll bring a comprehensive report over the matter in 1 week's time. 2 is that I never said on Hansard that fertilizers are more important than, and the members will bail me out than seedlings.
Thank you.
I said what is available now, which we are distributing to existing farmers to make sure that the already planted coffee does not suffer because of drought, because of failed weather condition. So, Right Honorable Speaker, like I said earlier, I'll bring a comprehensive report over the matter in a week's time. Tuesday next week, to be specific.
Thank you. Now,
for the areas, we have already paid some areas, and we are working with Ministry of Finance to address the issue of areas. The way we are receiving money is quarterly releases, and when they gave us the quarterly release, we paid whatever it could sweep from the areas. In the next quarter, we are also addressing, we are paying the areas.
Thank you. Honorable Minister, you will go a bit deeper and tell us the procedure of how one accesses the fertilizer, for example, because it sounded as if you've already started distributing. My constituency, which survives on coffee, we've not received any single bag. We don't know where to apply from. So if we could be guided properly in your statement, guide us. Say for farmers who want fertilizer, apply through this way, and all of us will be able. And you tell us whether it will be for free or cost sharing and all that. Honorable Boka Didi.
Yeah, thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I rise to raise a matter of national importance pertaining to a road connecting Obongi to Moyo district, which is a national road serving both host and refugees communities. This road belongs to the Ministry of Works. There's a company called Jetcom that was given a contract to work on it. What they did basically was grading. It's in a bad terrain that requires improving the drainage, offshoots, and culverts. Unfortunately, for about 4 or 5 months now, the company Jetcom has abandoned the site. And apparently, when it rains, Obongi is cut off. My prayers are that the Ministry of Works that supervises, Ministry of Works and Transport that supervises that work ensures Jetcom does good work. And in the event that Jetcom has abandoned the site and is not ready and willing to do work, that the Ministry of Works and Force Account responds to that road as a matter of urgency because Obongi is getting cut off from Moyo. I pray. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Let the Minister respond on Thursday. He's usually here on Thursdays. Finally, Honorable Katoto Mohammed.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I stand here to raise a matter of national importance, especially regarding electricity supply in my constituency. Right Honorable Speaker, I have about 3 sub-counties which has not been with electricity for almost 3 months. And those 3 sub-counties have schools, at the same time health centers, 3. So the good thing I have the minister here for energy. I humbly request through you to come and explain to the people of Katerera why they have been in blackout for all this time. I thank you, Right Honorable.
Thank you, Honorable Minister for Energy.
Right, Honorable Speaker. A blackout means they already have infrastructure. If they have the infrastructure, I'll send a technical team to find out what the problem is. They have had a blackout for 3 months. It's a case that can be investigated and rectified.
Thank you, please, and get in touch with the Honorable Korik. It will be very helpful. Next item.
Item 3 on the order paper, laying of papers. 1, proposal to borrow up to United States dollars 20 million from the Arab Bank for Development in Africa for the upgrading of Nebi Gori Road, 16 kilometers.
Honorable Minister.
Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay a proposal to borrow up to United States dollars 20 million from the Arab Bank for Development in Africa, BADEA, for the upgrading of Nebi Goli Road, 16 kilometers. I beg to lay.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. The proposal is referred to the Committee on National Economy. Please work closely with the relevant Committee for Physical Infrastructure. Honorable Commissioner, I see you are...
Item 3.
No, wait, Clerk. I can see the Commissioner seems to have an urgent issue. Honorable Commissioner, have your turn.
Thank you, Right Honorable. I know the procedure. I only want to make you know that this road is actually 120 kilometers. But today, the Minister has presented a request to borrow money to work on only 16 kilometers. Right Honorable Speaker, I think this is an insult to the Greater Nebi. We have sat in this house. We have approved loans for hundreds of kilometers for other districts. At the last moment, Greater Nebi gets to a loan of 16 kilometers out of 120 kilometers. I only wanted to present mine.
Just procedure matter, you will come back after.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, the Minister has laid the proposal to borrow, and I'm sure this proposal is going to go to the committee, which will scrutinize this matter. I appreciate the issue being raised by the Commissioner, but would it not be procedurally right that this matter being raised by the Commissioner be taken to the committee so that the committee can then so that the committee, I am raising a procedural issue for the Speaker to rule. So would it not be procedurally right that this matter goes to the committee and then the committee will interface with all the stakeholders?
Yeah.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate the procedure matter, Honorable Pendi, but what the colleague is raising is that the committee will limit itself to only, you know, what has been sent there, which is the 15 or 16 kilometers. It won't go beyond. And it should be an error, because when you look at 20 million, no, it's not an error, because when you look at $20 million only, yeah, okay? So I think it would be very important for the minister on Thursday, okay, to come, because this road, we have been talking about it for long. I don't know a road which is just 120 kilometers. You come to do just 16. You know, you know, because I remember the other time when I was hosted by Honorable Feuchan, Honorable Gabriel, and Honorable Mavenjina at Paida. I was still a government chief whip. That road really, to go through it, and it's a gateway to Congo, to the DRC. It's one of the roads which would bring a lot to this economy. So let the minister come and tell us why he chose to pick only for 16 kilometers, leaving the rest, and tell us when he will work on the rest. You never know, tomorrow they might bring another portion. Honorable Tim Giwi? Yes? But Honorable Feuchan, are you done? Please, had you completed your submission?
Right, Honorable Speaker, I think you've ruled very well. I am grateful and we are looking forward to receiving his response. Our people would want to know, this road, by the way, stops in Nebi itself, not even completing the entire Nebi. That means the entire Zombo, where I represent, is completely left out. Right, Honorable Speaker, it is very painful for me to stand 1,000,000 times on this microphone singing the same thing, and the government that I serve diligently is not listening.
Thank you. Honorable Tim Giwi?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, my sister Feuchan is right. Members after members have stood up here speaking about the entire stretch. But nevertheless, we do appreciate the effort that government has brought here to make sure that we have at least Nebi Goli done. So as we push to make sure that we get the entire stretch of the 116 kilometers, we still stand that it does not mean that we are not ready to accept the 16 kilometers for now. Let us take the 16 kilometers, but we continue to push for the entire stretch, because it's not being selfish. What I'm saying is the entire stretch up to Zombo is a very important road, and we have continued talking about it, because to go back right now and totally send this away, then it means that we do not have a start for the moment. But yes, my sister is very...
Honorable Isaac, the Honorable Feuchan, okay, didn't say don't accept the 16. No, she didn't, okay? She recognized it, you have brought 16. But where is the rest of the road? Because you see, we might have a misrepresentation here that a colleague didn't want this small stretch done. So, yeah, you get it. Let's be clear. A colleague was only saying you have brought 16, yet you should have brought the whole stretch. So can you explain to us why you are not bringing the whole stretch? Let me allow another colleague from the area, we conclude on it. Now let's just...
Thank you very much,
affected colleagues.
Right Honorable. I would like to thank government for the initiative for the 16 kilometers. I would like also to thank Honorable Foch and the Commissioner for bringing the voices of the people that the road is actually 120 kilometers. Right Honorable, this road is very economical. We have coffee, we have 2 border points in the proximity, which is Goli, and we have Padea, and we have the district. The initiative of bringing districts is to take services to the people. Now, if we cannot even extend a national road to reach the district headquarters, it is actually a disservice to the people. So I would like to propose that we appreciate the 16 kilometers. However, since Parliament does appropriation, we can still stretch to at least for the beginning, to at least 30 or 40 kilometers. I beg to submit.
Honorable, the Minister will come here to update us and give assurance to the colleagues from the affected area. Next.
Item 3.2 on the order paper. Proposal to borrow up to units of account 91,700,000, equivalent to US$ 121,961,000 from African Development Fund for the construction of the South Sudan-Uganda Power Interconnection Project.
Honorable Minister for Finance.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to lay a proposal to borrow up to UA 91,700,000, an equivalent of US dollars 121,961,000 from the African Development Fund for the construction of the South Sudan-Uganda Power Interconnection Project. I beg to lay, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Proposal referred to the Committee on National Economy in consultation with the Committee on Natural Resources. We don't have a provision for guidance in the rules of procedure. Procedure, Honorable Seungu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for allowing me, and I thank the Minister for laying all these loans we are seeking for. But, Mr. Speaker, why we raise a lot of eyebrows on these loans and complaints come from members is there are a number of new districts, including mine, which don't have a single Tamaka road, and whenever it comes to paying loans, we are always part of the payment scheme. There was one time when Mr. Totas went to visit heaven and he borrowed the feathers from the bird, but he used one term that whenever we reach there, if they bring food, you say all of you. Whose food is this? All of you. And the birds who gave him feathers never ate, because whenever whose food, Mr. Totas had named himself Mr. All of You, every food was coming for him. So my procedural matter is, why don't we finance, give at least whenever you go for loans, give priority to some of these new districts. At least for every financial year, 5 of them, or 3, to have some money through these loans for tarmac. Tarmac. In Kalungu, we only have one Tamaka road. It is along with the church, from the church to the nuns. And that was given during the celebration of 100 years. But you go to Kalangala, where your constituency, Right Honorable Speaker, I have been there, visit a number of districts. A lot of loans are brought, but no consideration. Remiaga has never seen a Zimbabwe. I think they have some little Tamaka these days. Isingiro has. But Chabakuza, why don't you help us, Mr. Speaker, as a procedural matter, that when these loans come, even people from Kalungu are paying, people from Mitoma are paying, but there's no benefit for a single Tamaka road for new districts.
Thank you.
Apart from those leading us from the main roads that we have made. Honourable Minister, that is my prayer.
Thank
so
you.
I'm tired of having all of you, when it comes to eating, I don't get anything.
Thank you. Honourable Minister, that's for noting. That's for noting. Next.
Speaker, I want to take note of Honorable Sewungu's desire to have a Tamaka road going to every district. However, Mr. Speaker, it is also important to recognize that we do not have the money, and we can't have it in the medium term to do all these roads we want. Mr. Speaker, I wish to inform the House.
Now, Honorable Songo, the person you're saying he should be kind enough to consider you, you're putting him on order. So,
when he was speaking, I carefully
point of order.
listened.
Point of order.
Mr. Speaker, sir, you asked the minister to take note of what I've said. I am well aware you cannot have all the funds. And I said that why don't you at least pick some of those districts? I am telling you, Kalungu, where I come from, the main road we have for the whole district is only 35 kilometers. And when you look at its traffic, it is even higher than the one of where you come from. So is it in order, Mr. Speaker, for the Honorable Minister not to respect what you have taken from my plea? From my plea, say, at least to please me for that day, that you have noted it and we shall take interest in what he's saying. Because what I'm saying, it might also be a beneficiary of the same. Is he in order?
The minister is not in order for not taking note. No.
On the floor.
Is it clarification? Yeah. Procedure?
Mr. Speaker, thank you.
But colleagues, we are opening up a debate on something which is just laying of papers.
Speaker, thank you for your indulgence. I think when I listen to submission from colleagues, the cry from NEBI and all over the country, the leader of government business could do us a very good service if they can sit as government and come to this house and say, now we have a term of 5 years which is coming to an end, to show each and every member of parliament here, either in their district, what the government has done, delivered tangibly as a project in these 5 years. Many of us here, and I sympathize with those who sit on the NRM, you have nothing to go and tell your people. In 5 years, no road, no school, no high impact project, nothing. And the government has been there for 5 years. Every time the government has a specific set of promises that it has made to the country. And that should be done. So if it pleases you, Mr. Speaker, and to come all this, the leader of government business with this well-composed team of ministers, come and tell us what you have delivered in each and every area of this country.
Thank you. But now, colleagues, we have, just wait a bit, Honorable, I will allow you, Honorable Bright. But we have a committee in charge of government assurance. And government assurance includes what was in the manifesto, what the government promised to do. So the one failing to do the job, is it the opposition which is failing to point out the issues? Honorable Ramirama.
Mr. Speaker, it's not true, and it should not be left unchallenged that in 5 years the government has done nothing to show, when we have been commissioning facilities all over the country. Yes. If you have not done your work to understand where the budget you appropriate goes, you go and find out. We can bring here a list. We are always here on appraisals and things that have been done. For instance, in my constituency, I have 2 new primary schools built. I have water running. I have electricity.
But honorable colleagues, what I pick from what Honorable Jonathan was saying is that the Prime Minister should bring here a report of what they've done in 5 years. But, colleagues, every year we receive a budget performance report showing clearly where the money has gone and what has been achieved. Okay? And we budget against work plans. So when we say that there is nothing, maybe in Honorable Jonathan's area there might be nothing, but what I picked was simple, that the Prime Minister, you should be given an opportunity to come and show us. You show off. You show off what you've been able to achieve. Okay? That's for the Prime Minister to decide on. Honorable Msasisi, please conclude.
Mr. Speaker, to supplement your point, to say we have nothing to show when we have the National Development Plan, we have the NRM manifesto, we have cabinet and presidential directives from time to time, which all have been supported by this House through the budget, and we have the budget monitoring. The reports come here. If we go to the countryside and both within here in Kampala, I can start from Kampala, by the way. We, not long ago, together with the President, we commissioned the Kampala Flyover Project. In the greater Kampala metropolitan, the roads are under construction. So, name The list is endless. So, Mr. Speaker, the assertion that we have nothing to show is really not correct. PDM, Mr. Speaker, every parish in this country has received at least 300 million Uganda shillings.
Honourable
in this
Minister,
term.
Honourable Jonathan Odo has made a request.
Thank you.
That compile whatever you've achieved and lay it on table.
Thank
Period.
you. Now, lastly, on the roads, Mr. Speaker, even when we are not able to do tarmac to every district, at least we are able to release and budget for money for road maintenance in the districts. The 100 million every year goes to the district, 1 billion.
1 billion. Yeah.
And in the new term, the president has already guided that we increase this to 2 billion. And also buy new road units per district. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to plead with Honorable Sewungu that where we cannot get tarmac, let me give you an assurance that we should provide money for road maintenance, routine road maintenance, so that we have motorable roads across the country. I thank you.
Thank you. Honourable Bahati, you wanted to add something?
I just wanted to say, Mr. Speaker, that we take positively what the Honorable Jonathan has requested the government to do, because it's a great opportunity for us to showcase of the achievements we have made, which are actually abundant. If you can give us space in 2 weeks' time, we'll be able to come and demonstrate the capacity of the NRM government and what we've been able to achieve. And I'm sure that by then, the Honorable Jonathan will remove the last part of his statement that we have done nothing. Thank you.
Honorable Bahati, government business takes priority on the order paper. Whenever you're ready, inform us. We shall give you the space. Next. Honorable Boka, what's your procedure matter?
Right Honorable Speaker, earlier last year, when you were presiding over this House on the matter of connection of electricity in districts in West Nile, I did raise a concern about an island of darkness in West Nile called Obongi district that does not have a single pole since time immemorial. You directed that the Minister of State for Energy, in collaboration with the members of Parliament.
Clarification. Listen, I never direct ministers.
Sorry.
I cannot direct.
You guided.
I cannot direct someone I don't appoint, and I don't supervise. I don't.
You guided.
I can guide. I can request. I never direct.
Thank you. You guided, Right Honorable Speaker, that the Minister of State for Energy liaises with the members of Parliament from Addis Ababa region to come on the ground to have a first-hand assessment of the situation of connection of electricity to Obongi district. While West Nile was being connected to the national grid, the people of Obongi wanted to boycott coming to participate in the connection of West Nile to the national grid. There was an assurance made by the president that before the end of this year, Obongi would be connected to the national grid. To date, there is no evidence of action being taken. For 3 consecutive years, the connection of Obongi has appeared on the budget, but no action has been taken. Is it procedurally right that you guide the minister and no action is taken? To fast track the connection of Obongi to the national grid, I submit. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable, for clarification. That's not a point of procedure. Just wanted to first clarify to you, but I was patient enough because I've not been here for some days. I can't, come and start reprimanding colleagues. But, Honorable Minister, did you visit Obongi and what plans do you have? Because I remember you committed here. And it's in your neighborhood, I think. It should be in here.
Right, Honorable Speaker. I've continuously actually engaged with him. The last time was just immediately after the primaries.
With who, Honorable?
With the honorable member from Obongi.
That's a better language.
Yes. And we actually committed that there are going to be priority on the electricity access scale up, and we are doing the evaluation now. I would request he actually comes to office and we go through what plans we have for Obongi and also the date when we expect to reach Obongi.
Thank you. Honorable Boka, please follow up.
Thank you.
Yes, next.
Item 3.3 on the order paper, reports and opinion of the Auditor General on the financial statements of the following for the year ended 30th June 2024. A, Uganda Consulate, Mombasa in Kenya.
Honorable Commissioner Fayechan.
Right Honorable Speaker, allow me lay a report entitled Report and Opinion of the Auditor General of the Financial Statements of Uganda Consulate, Mombasa in Kenya for the year ended 30th June 2024. I beg to lay.
Thank you. The report is referred to the Committee on Public Accounts, Central Government, for consideration and reporting back.
Item 3.3b, the Uganda Embassy in Cairo, Egypt.
Honorable Commissioner.
Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay a report titled Report and Opinion of the Auditor General on the Financial Statements of the Uganda Embassy in Cairo, Egypt for the financial year ended 30th June 2024. I beg to lay.
The report is referred to the Committee on Public Accounts Central for consideration and reporting back.
Item 3.4, report of the Auditor General on the Uganda High Commission in Abuja, Nigeria for the audit year ended December 2024.
Honorable Commissioner.
Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the report titled Report of the Auditor General in the Uganda High Commission in Abuja, Nigeria for the audit year ended December 2024. I beg to lay.
I think that's the one we had considered. Okay, so is it a repetition? Just let me consult with the clerk. Thank you. The report is referred to the Committee on Public Accounts, Central Government, for consideration and reporting back. Next.
Item 3.5, guidelines for safe conduct of entertainment, co-curricular activities, and election of student leaders in pre-primary, primary, and post-primary schools and institutions.
Honorable Minister Bahati.
On behalf of the Honorable Minister Peter Gwang, I beg to lay guidelines to address the concern of increasing exposure of learners to inappropriate, exploitative, and unsafe entertainment and co-curricular activities in pre-primary, primary, and post-primary schools and institutions.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. These are for information purposes. They already uploaded on our system at Fresco, and also they should be put in the library for members to easily access. Procedure, Honorable Sarah.
Right Honorable Speaker, I seek for your guidance. Last week, in this House, the Public Accounts Committee presented its report. And I was appealing, I recall appealing to the Constitution, and I've raised this before, to receive the Auditors General's reports, consider them, and debate them. We adopted the reports of the Auditor General for the financial year 2024-2025 omnibus. Now, 2023-2024 omnibus. So, today we have received Auditor General's report for those missions. So, Right Honourable Speaker, the procedural issue I am raising is that we already adopted reports which we did not even debate in this House. And it was omnibus, implying that even this which has come, in my interpretation, is already adopted. So, Right Honourable Speaker, would it not be procedurally right that you guide us as a committee and give us the way forward so that we don't go and consider these reports, interface with the accounting officers only for no work done? So could you please, would it not be procedurally right that you guide us? Thank you, Right Honourable.
Yeah, thank you. Vice Chairperson, you wanted to say something on the same before I guide?
Right Honourable Speaker, sorry to interject before you guide, but I remember during the time of presentation of all the reports for PAC, we requested the Right Honourable Speaker to allow the committee more time for interaction and interrogation of the reports for missions abroad, and these were stayed. So I believe we shall have more time to have these ones considered because permission was granted.
Thank you. I think Honorable Namuga has brought it out very well, but also just, you know, Article 163, Clause 5 is very clear. Parliament shall, within 6 months after the submission of the report referred to, okay, in Clause 4 of this article, debate and consider the report and take appropriate action. So I think it is after submission because they've just laid it here, so you have 6 months to process and consider the reports. Thank you. Next.
Item 4 on the order paper, motion for a resolution of Parliament authorize government to borrow euro 183,309,947.16 from Standard Chartered Bank and Uganda shillings 120,395,249.259 from the domestic market, 6 months treasury bill for financing the Strategic Towns Water Supply and Sanitation Project Phase 2, STWSSP 2.
Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, pursuant to Article 159 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda and Section 34 of the Public Finance Management Act as amended, and Rule 162 of the Parliamentary Rules of Procedure, I beg to move a motion for a resolution of Parliament to authorize government to borrow up to euros 183,309,947.16 from Standard Chartered Bank and Uganda shillings 120 billion 395,249,259 shillings from the domestic market to finance the strategic towns water supply and sanitation project phase 2. I beg to move, Right Honorable Speaker.
Is the motion seconded? Honorable Rukia Nakadama, Honorable Gabdiel. But they are seconding, you're standing on procedure. Honorable Kwizera. Seconding, yeah? Yeah, those are enough. Honorable Tom is single man. Honorable Koruo, Honorable Senu, Honorable Yakatonda. So, Honorable Minister, you want us to give us a brief?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the project objective is to support the government of Uganda's effort to achieve sustainable provision of safe water and hygiene sanitation for the urban population by the year 2030. The project will improve the quality of service and the supply of water and sanitation facilities, as well as enhance the management and functioning of water supply and sanitation systems targeted towns in Uganda. The primary beneficiaries of the project would be residents of 4 selected cluster project areas in different regions of the country. The identified clusters are Nakasongora Phase 2 cluster within Nakasongora district, Kamuli Kasambira Phase 2 cluster within Kamuli district, Mayuge Bugade within Mayuge district, Idudi Busesa within Bugweri district cluster, and Aleputong cluster under Aleputong district. The project comprises of 3 major components, namely 1, urban water supply infrastructure development, 2, urban sanitation infrastructure development, and 3, project management. The project will cost euros 221.682 million and will be financed by 1, Sinosure-backed term loan facility from Stanley Chartered Bank of up to euros 183.309 and domestic borrowing of 120.395 billion. This is a 6-month treasury bill and equivalent of 29.572 euros, and the government counterpart funding of euros 8.8 million, which will be spread over 5 years of implementation. The counterpart funding will cater for the project running costs. Those are recurrent costs, land acquisition for infrastructure development, program coordination, and joint monitoring and evaluation. It will therefore be budgeted for in the Ministry of Water and Environment's mid-term expenditure framework, and the resources will be made available starting financial year 2025-2026. The certificate of financial implications has been attached to the detailed brief. The right of way for all the infrastructure was concluded under phase 1 of the project in Nakasongora, Kamuli, Kasambila, and Aleputong, while the process is still ongoing in Budade Mayuge, Idudi Busesa, with the involvement of the district local government. The progress of acquiring the right of way for the entire project is estimated at 75%. What are the terms? The loan amount I stated earlier is 183.309 million. The period or the tenure is 14 years with a grace period of 4 years. The interest rate is 6 months Euribor plus margin, and the commitment fee is 30% of margin per annum, which is 0.63%. The margin is 2.10. The sign-on premium is 7% of principal and interest. The agency fee is $20,000 per year, and the arrangement fee is 1.4% paid upfront, and the default interest is 2%. The 6 months treasury bill issuance to cater for 15% of the contract sum, loan amount is 120.395 billion, which is an equivalent of 29.572 euros. And the loan period is 6 months treasury bill to be determined at the time of issuance. However, it stood at 14% per year as at 12 February 2025. The justification, Mr. Speaker, is that the project will contribute to water and sanitation sector target of 85% by 2030 and 100% by 2040. The project will provide additional access to at least 0.74 million people by 2030 and over 1 million people in the projected design period by 2050. The project will train 150 people in appropriate urban sanitation, i.e. masonry, mechanic, artisan, and waste management. Through this project, the sector is targeting rolling out water and sanitation services to the 4 future cities and the surrounding satellite town councils within selected districts to cover wider and unserved areas, bringing piped water closer to the town populations and progressively reducing the common sight of women and children carrying water on their heads for long distances from unsafe wells. The water supply services will extend to 51 towns, covering 115 parishes. The project will contribute to improved health and productivity of the population through the provision of safe water and sanitation services to the target population of approximately 1 million people by 2050. The infrastructure also serves industrial areas in the region, including the cassava processing plant in Nakasongola and the proposed industrial park in Kakoge. In addition, the project will include abstract infrastructure for water, for irrigation purposes, and support designs for extending water for irrigation within the project areas. The envisaged direct impacts of the project include access to safe, adequate and reliable water supply to town populations, reduction in the average walking distances to the nearest public water point, and reduction in the time spent fetching water at congested water points. The water infrastructure designed for the identified cities and surrounding small towns is a direct response to Uganda's rate of urbanization, currently at 5.2%. Sanitation, interventions in schools, institutions, and other settings, and accompanying fecal sludge plants with dislodging units will have tremendous impact on the existing challenge of emptying toilets and septic tanks in schools and informal settlements. The project will also provide employment opportunities during construction and economically empower women and youth through support groups and skills development. Catchment restoration through tree planting will be an integral aspect of the intervention. The project will address the unequal power relations and the different roles, capabilities, and needs of women, men, girls, boys, and other vulnerable groups. The long-term impact of the proposed operations will not only result in a healthy workforce, but also improve opportunities for meaningful education enrollment for the future mothers of the nation. The implementation arrangements are as follows. The project shall be implemented by the Ministry of Water and Environment over a period of 5 years within the Human Capital Development Program. The program working group will play the overall policy oversight role, including reviewing and approving annual work plans and quarterly progress reports and providing strategic guidance to the project. Mr. Speaker, with this justification, I beg to move that the House considers the proposal and allows us to proceed with the borrowing. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Chair, present the report. The Minister has already given us.
Thank you very
some of the
much,
details.
Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, I beg to lay the report of the Committee on National Economy on the proposal to borrow euros 183,309,947.16 from the Standard Chartered Bank, UK, and Uganda shillings 120,395,249,259, approximately 29,272,292 from the domestic market. 6-month treasury bill for financing the strategic towns water supply and sanitation project phase 2. I beg to lay the report of the committee and also the report of the minority members who have written a minority report, and the minutes of the committee. I beg to lay. Right Honourable Speaker, allow me summarize the report. The Minister has already given an overview of this report. Right Honourable Speaker, the Committee of National Economy received this report. It received a loan request, and it was referred to the Committee on National Economy. The Committee on National Economy held a meeting with Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development and the technical team. The Ministry of Water and Environment and the technical team. The committee also reviewed the documents that were submitted. That is the minister's brief to the proposal, the Strategic Towns Water Supply and Sanitation Phase 2 Feasibility Study Report, the draft loan agreement between the Republic of Uganda and Standard Chartered Bank for financing the Strategic Towns Water Supply and Sanitation Project Phase 2, Environmental and Social Management Plan for Kamuli Town Water Supply and Sanitation Project, Kamuli District, dated June 20th, 2022, the NEMA Certificate of Approval and Approval of the Environmental and Social Impact Assessment, dated 18th of July 2024, for the project investments in the beneficiary areas of Kamuli, Mayuge, Nakasongola, and Alebitong. The conditions of approval of the Environmental and Social Impact Statement for Kamuli, Kasambira Piped Water Supply and Sanitation Project Phase 2, located in Bugonda Village. The committee also viewed a number of documents like the national planning, the document from the National Planning Authority clearing the Strategic Towns Water Supply and the Sanitation Project Phase 2, the procurement plan, the Strategic Water Town Supply and Sanitation Project Phase 2 Implementation Plan, the Resettlement Action Plan, the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development letter dated 14th January 2025, confirming government's will and availability of counterpart funding for the Strategic water supply and sanitation project phase 2, and the strategic towns water supply and sanitation project phase 1 physical and financial project progress reports as at January 2025, the strategic water supply and sanitation project phase 2 project management structure. The committee also visited, the committee also conducted a field visit to Mayuge district and assessed the performance of the project. The committee visited Mayuge, Busana town water supply system. The construction of the main works had been completed, and the scheme had been handed over to the central umbrella of water and sanitation for operationalization and maintenance. The committee also visited Kamuli district. The committee visited Kamuli town water supply system. The construction of the main works had been completed, and the system was handed over to National Water and Sewerage Corporation. Right Honorable Speaker, the committee looked at the performance of loans under the water sector. Ministry of Water and Environment had a total of about 14 projects that are donor funded, with a total loan portfolio of about $1,346.98 million to finance the 14 projects as at the end of June 2025, and 53.62% of this money had been released. That is about to $722.23 million had been disbursed to the 14 projects. However, projects that were not performing well included the irrigation scheme development in Unyama, Namalu, and Sipi Falls project, irrigation for climate resilient, supply and installation of solar-powered water supply system in rural areas, and the construction of water and sanitation infrastructure and associated activities in Isingiro district. Right Honorable Speaker, phase 2 is taking over from phase 1. In phase 1, Right Honorable Speaker, this house in 2018, around December, passed a loan of 44 million units of account, equivalent to 59.4 million for the construction to implement phase 1 of the project. And phase 1 covered substantively 96% of the $59.4 million for the loan from African Development Bank that funded phase 1 had been released, and government of Uganda in totality had released all the counterpart funding to 100%. That was 6.6 million shillings. Right Honorable Speaker, the Committee on National Economy the systems that were constructed under phase 1 included Dokolo town water supply system, improvement works in Kapchora town water supply system, maintenance of Nakasongola water supply system, Kienjojo Katoke town water supply system, Buikwe town water supply system, Abundi Bujo water supply system, Kayunga Busana water supply system, Kamuli water supply system. That was in phase 1, and a total of about 40 institutional and public toilets were constructed, and detailed designs for additional 10 water supply systems in the Upper Nile and the Kyoga catchment areas were done. And then the skilled training of women and youth in water and sanitation business, and then the development of regulatory tools and review of the water and sanitation services tariff regime was completed under phase 1. Right Honorable Speaker, we also assessed that phase 1 had the following challenges. Phase 1 was affected by COVID-19, and then the construction material price escalations, and then land acquisition was also a challenge for major installations, and then change of scope of works had also an effect in phase 1, and then extreme weather conditions had an effect on phase 1. Right Honorable Speaker, the Minister has already informed this House of the objectives of Phase 2 of the Strategic Town Water Supply and Sanitation Project Phase 2, and I would like to inform this House that this is linked to the country's strategies. Right Honourable Speaker, the Minister already talked about the components, about the construction, about the components of this project. The project has three components. Component 1, that included the construction of the water supply systems. Component 1 takes the largest amount of funds, costing about 81% of the total project cost, where the total cost of 179.27 million euros will be invested in building on the achievements of Phase 1 to enhance infrastructure capacity in Kamuli Municipal Council and Nakasongola districts, while construction of new water supply infrastructure in districts of Mayuge and Alebitong, the provision of the piped water supply and approved sanitation in these strategic towns will trigger socio-economic transformation through stimulation of business/commercial activities and support to end user social services. Component 2 takes about 20.66 million euros, which is 9% of the total project cost, and will be conducted in line with the urban improved sanitation and hygiene strategy to finance activities of sanitation and hygiene awareness creation, construction of public sanitation infrastructure, including the on-site and off-site regional fecal silage or sewerage management facilities, fecal silage, haulage and service equipment will also be provided to serve the cluster towns. Component 3 takes a total of 21.75 million, which is 10% of the project cost, and will invest in supporting Ministry of Water and Environment towards effective implementation of the Strategic Towns Water Supply and Project Phase 2. Right Honourable Speaker, allow me go direct to the committee's observations and recommendations. Right Honourable Speaker, the terms and conditions of the loan and the physical modalities, the committee observed that this loan financed from external sources, with the Standard Chartered Bank UK being the agent and the arranger, is being offered at a high commercial rate for projects that has no immediate revenue generation stream. However, this being mitigated by the socio-economic returns over the medium to long term, that leads to high economic returns of 19% over the opportunity cost of capital of 11%. Additionally, the financial modality through issuance of 6-month treasury securities in the domestic market is equally commercial with the current cost of 180 treasury bill rate of 12.5%. While this is an option available to government in mobilizing resources to finance its program, its suitability for such projects is a major concern. Such concerns involve whether such options are part of the Treasury Security Issuance calendar of the central government. Further, the cost of insurance premium for Sinosure of 15.7 million, which is 9% of the credit, which is considerably higher, given that the risk assessment framework for the project indicates low risks for financial and political risks. The committee recommends the following. Government should ensure that high commercial loans are used to finance projects whose revenue generation capacity is in the short term. Minister of Finance Planning and Economic Development should ensure that the domestic borrowing to finance specific projects form part of government insurance calendar to improve coordination between the monetary policy and the physical policy authorities. Efforts to mitigate the rising interest costs for the private sector due to increased government borrowing from the banking sector should further be explored by Ministry of Finance Planning and Economic Development as well. Government should consider negotiating the insurance premium cost given the minimum risk the project faces and other costs to bring them to levels that are compatible to the Standard Chartered Bank. UK terms used for Kabalega Airport in Hoima that were non-concessional. Observation 5.2, the budgetary implication of Strategic Towns Water Supply and Sanitation Project 2. The committee observed that while a budget provision of 6.93 billion had been provided for on the ongoing activities under the project in the financial year 2025-2026, the Strategic Towns Water Supply Systems Project Phase 2 first year requirement is over 150 billion, is not provided for in the financial year 2025-2026. Further, the project is not part of the medium-term commitments statement for the financial year 2025-2026 as presented to Parliament. The domestic debt acquisition to finance part of Phase 2 increases the financing requirement of government in terms of short-term interest rates payment that should be planned in the government physical operations for the financial year 2025-2026 and over the medium term. The committee recommends the following. Government should expedite the process of including the Strategic Towns Water Supply and Sanitation Project Phase 2 to form part of the medium-term commitment for the financial year 2025-2026 and the medium term. As well as a result, government should adjust the physical framework to include any costs associated with the financing modalities of the project for the financial year 2025-2026 and the medium term. 5.3 Government's counterpart funding. The committee noted that among the lessons learned from the implementation of projects, especially those financed by externally borrowed funds, is untimely release of government counterpart funding and the low absorption capacity of project executing agencies. The committee recommends that government ensures that adequate counterpart funds for these projects are timely integrated into the national budget during the implementation period. 3, fulfillment of the loan conditions. The committee also observed that government has been slow in the fulfillment of the loan effective conditions upon signing of the loan agreements in order to trigger the disbursement of committed funds for the implementation of the debt-funded projects. The committee recommends that government ensures the speedy fulfillment of the effectiveness conditions of the financing agreements for this loan in order for the committed funds to be released by the Standard Chartered Bank, UK, on time to guarantee the timely implementation of the projects. High dependence on consultancy. The committee observed the high dependency of the project on consultancy services. According to the project procurement plan, a total of 8,070,513 million euros will be spent on consultancy services. The majority of the consultancy costs will finance consultancy services for construction supervision of Alebitong, Kamuli, Kasambira, Phase 2, Bugade, Mayuge, Idudi, Busesa, and Nakasongola Phase 2 water supply and sanitation. The committee recommends that government scales up plans for deliberately building the capacities of MDAs in conducting studies, designing and supervision of projects in order to cut down on the exorbitant amounts of project funds spent on consultancy services towards conducting studies, designs and supervision of debt-funded projects. 5.6 is performance of debt-funded projects in the water and sanitation sector. The committee noted that there has been an improvement in the utilization of loans in the water and sanitation sector. Despite the improvement, some projects did not perform well. For example, the irrigation scheme development in Uganda, the
Sorry.
Namalu CP project.
Chairman.
Yes, please.
Chairman, really, I mean, the critical issues which we consider here, you know them. So just allow me to recognize our visitors in the public gallery this afternoon. We have students and teachers of Kati Primary School from Urepi Sub-County, Madi Okoro District. They are represented by Honorable Etuka Isaac Joaquino and Honorable Okia Joanna Niku. They've come to observe proceedings of this House. Please join me in welcoming them. Can stand up for recognition. Thank you. Thank you. We are glad to have you here. So, Chairman, conclude.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, let me conclude. I'm trying to look at the most critical items. Right Honourable Speaker, I'm looking at item 5.1, inconsistency of borrowing with the 2023 Public Debt Management Framework. The 2023 Public Debt Management Framework outlines a comprehensive strategy for managing public debt over the 5 years starting 2023-2024 to 2027-2028. This framework articulates principles, government commitments, strategies, and benchmarks crucial for shaping public debt decisions during this period. The primary aim of this framework is to highlight the financing solutions that address the government's fiscal deficits, carefully weighing the balance between cost and risk to ensure sustainable funding for economic growth and development. Under the external debt finance, there has been 8 principles of external debt which are provided under Annexure 1. Under Annexure 1 of the report, and post-project failures. The proposed project fails the first principle, which states that government shall continue to pursue concessional and non-concessional borrowing to meet the external financing requirements through the underlying guidelines. Social and human capital projects shall be funded at concessional terms with a grant element of at least 35%. Consideration for non-concessional loans, that's direct and or export credit agencies, lending with a grant element of less than 35% shall be contracted on conditions that 1, the project provides an economic rate of return greater than the interest rate charged. 2, the project economic net present value and the internal rate of return is greater than 12%. 3, the effective interest rate of the cost of the financing at any given time should be less than or equal to the applicable benchmark rate, that is SOFR and Euribor plus 250 basis points. The committee observed that government is proposing to finance this social project on a commercial terms with a grant element of 7%, which is highly non-concessional, and it falls below 10% threshold for the semi-concessional loans. This sets a precedent of acquiring social sector loans on expensive terms, and yet usually these projects are not financially viable, which is the basis for the framework requiring such loans to be obtained on concessional terms. The project has a financial interest return of 4.7% and a negative net present value of that, and a low benefit cost ratio of 0.73, indicating that the proposed project is not financially viable on its own and requires a government support to be viable. Further, the committee noted that while the economic rates of return for the proposed project is higher than the interest rate, with economic rate of return of 19%, complying with the first and second condition for non-concessional loans. The effective interest rate associated with the proposed borrowing is 4.96%, which is higher than 6-month Euribor plus 250 basis point of 4.58, implying that the cost of the proposed loan is higher than the recommended cost of non-concessional loan, making the proposed loan fail in complying with the third condition of contracting non-concessional. The committee recommends that government, through Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, renegotiates the loan terms with a proposed creditor or identifies another creditor whose terms are consistent with the 2023 Public Debt Management Framework. Elimination of the Ugandan and the East African contractors during the implementation. The committee noted that during the implementation of phase 1 of the Strategic Towns Water Supply Amendment, several contractors were awarded contracts for direct clusters, for different clusters. For example, in Kamuli, the contractor was Vidas Engineering Company Limited, with the supervision consultants Jos, Hannes, and Shone East Africa Limited. And in Kayunga, one of the contractors was Vambeco Enterprises Limited, supervised by Alliance Consultants Limited. The ministry did not communicate any concerns of the ability of various contractors to deliver similar outputs under phase 2. The committee recommends that the commitment to the East African Continental Free Trade Area, government through Ministry of Water and Environment reviews the contract of awarding all clusters to one company, SEARCH, and open up implementation of the project to include East African companies in order to maximize the local content, since their abilities to construction and supervision was observed in phase 2. They need to review the project costs. The committee observed that the total investment cost under the project is 802.22 billion Uganda shillings, which is the contract sum. The committee was concerned that some of the project planned investments are investment items should be implemented using the Ugandan revenue, not borrowing. For example, the Uganda shilling 34 billion under the project is to be construction of public toilets observed in payment in the table below. The committee, members can go through the table. The committee, using information from the respective feasibility studies, observed variances in unit costs. For example, the diesel storage shed, whose price ranges from between an equivalent of 72 million Uganda shillings in Nakasongola to 252.7 million shillings in Mayuge Idudi cluster. The generator house ranging between 33 million Uganda shillings to 1.319 billion in Kamuli Kasambira cluster. The operation of administration building ranging from an equivalent of 755.38 million to in Alebeton 1.93. The committee recommends that the cost of the project be reviewed in view of bringing down the credit cost and reducing the cost of designs and scaling down expenditure on public toilets and guard house, among others. In conclusion, Right Honorable Speaker, the committee appreciates the proposed project. The proposed project is consistent with the objectives of the 4th National Development Plan, specifically those of natural resources, environment, climate change, land and water programs, and then the human capital development program. The project has a social ramification and builds on phase one projects. The committee recommends that the proposal by government to borrow up to euros 183,309,947.16 from the Standard Chartered Bank and 120 million Uganda shillings 395,249,259 shillings, approximately 29,572 euros 296 from the domestic market, 6-month treasury bonds for financing the strategic towns water supply and sanitation project phase 2 be approved and subject to the above committee's observations and recommendations. Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members, I beg to report.
Thank you, Chairman. Like you said, Ari, there is a minority report. So, Honorable Tebandeke.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I appreciate my chairperson, the Committee of National Economy, for the report well presented. Right, Honorable Speaker, I'm going to be very brief and allow me address this House to the two fundamental dissenting matters over the same. Our dissenting matters are on two issues. One is the high cost on the loan, which subject a taxpayer to a burden repayment. Two is the non-compliance with the rules of procedure of Parliament. Right, Honorable Speaker, my dissenting observation is that we acknowledge the government's goal for 2024, especially improving access to safe water and sanitation services to our country. Towns like Nakasongola, Kamuli, Kasambira, Alebeton, Bugade, Mayuge, Idudi, Busesa, amongst many other towns in Uganda that still lack safe water. Any good external borrowing for such social development would be much welcome, but this special request, Right Honorable Speaker and members, we are completely opposed to committing taxpayers to this loan for the following reasons. Right Honorable Speaker, the high cost on the loan. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, the loan is purely commercial from Standard Chartered Bank, Synergia-backed term with the interest rate of 6% ALBA plus imagine a commitment fee of 30% from the margin per annum. A margin of 2.1%, an agency fee of 20,000 US dollar payable annually, an agreement fee of 1.4%, and a default interest fee of 2% Synergia premium. Right Honorable Speaker, 70% interest fee on premium and 7% interest fee on interest is almost double interest over the same. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, strategic town water supply and sanitation project, phase 1 of the same project was financed by African Development Bank, whose terms were semi-concessional with a grace period of 8 years and a maturity of 25 years. For this particular request, it is a 4-year grace period against a 14-year maturity period. Right Honorable Speaker and members. Colleagues, also we need to note that the report of public debt, grant and other financial liabilities of financial year 2024-2025, on page 42, there is a loan request of 214 million euro from the United Kingdom Export Financing pending cabinet approval by March 2025. Any immediate approval of this loan, Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, by cabinet can save taxpayer from commercial loan of Standard Chartered Bank for this particular project. Right Honorable Speaker, in addition to that, as highlighted on non-compliance with the parliamentary provisions, our hands as Parliament are tied by Rule 162 5B of the Rules of Procedure of Parliament, that any loan request before Parliament for approval, we need a list of financing options considered when identifying the creditor. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, on presentation of this loan, there is no any financial option on requests that were laid before committee by the minister for consideration. The committee, while scrutinizing this request, were not provided with any list of financing option. We were left green over the criteria used to arrive at Standard Chartered as a lender to this particular loan. If other options were provided, maybe we would scrutinize this loan furthermore better. Without this information being provided to the committee and this House, Right Honorable Speaker, Parliament shall be working contrary to their constitutional mandate as enshrined in Article 159. Therefore, this is working against the rule of law, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, as I requested this House to be brief, allow me to draw your attention to the following recommendation. We urge the House to adopt our descending option in the spirit of saving taxpayers from such a costful loan. The minister responsible for finance clarify why African Development Bank, which financed this same loan in phase 1, was not able to fund the same particular loan in phase 2. Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, we recommend that the minister presents to us a list of financing options considered when selecting Standard Chartered Bank for parliamentary review. Why could the minister only come with a loan with only one option? Exception of any other would be option for consideration of this House. Right Honorable Speaker, I further recommend that the Minister of Finance should clarify the double nausea premium payment of 70% on principal and 70% on interest, which in my own view, Right Honorable Speaker, I see it as a double interest over the same loan, hence a big burden to the taxpayers' money and a wastage. Right Honorable Speaker, additionally, I request this House to defer approval pending cabinet update on the United Kingdom export financing of the 214 million euro option and explore a hybrid financing. I think this will be to our advantage and to sanitize the name of this parliament and saving Ugandans from the would-be costful loan repayment. Right Honorable Speaker, I request that this House refers back this loan request to the committee for supplemental scrutiny. And in your own guidance, Right Honorable Speaker, the committee can bring back the report after supplemental scrutiny in 14 days so that we exercise the liberties of this House, Right Honorable Speaker. I still recommend that this House should debate both majority and minority report together under Rule 115, prioritizing taxpayers' protection amidst the debt to GDP threshold breach. In conclusion, Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, I conclude that the minority report under Rule 115 highlights valid concerns about costs and the procedure while protecting the public interest on a high debt environment. Approving this loan without addressing these issues as highlighted could be a burden and make us vulnerable and the country. I urge you, the House, to reject and defer the proposal until clarifications are provided, seeking more favorable terms to ensure a suitable financing for the project over the same loan and uphold parliamentary sovereignty and physical procedure. Honorable members and colleagues, I beg to submit.
Thank you, Honorable. Thank you. Honorable Minister for Finance, because there are things which need a quick clarification before we open up on anything. One, the issue of list of financing options, which the minority report is talking about. And then also the member is saying that there is a loan for the same project, UKEF loan proposal. I don't know how they access cabinet, details of cabinet. So no, just because it's direct. Is cabinet having a is considering a proposal from UKEF for the same project? That would be cheap. No, I needed Honorable Byanyima. There are things usually I want the minister to clarify to help me when I'm guiding debate. Okay, Honorable Byanyima, it seems.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. We are slowly going into something that is not proper. Whenever a loan comes in, it concerns a certain sector. We cannot allow National Economic Committee, which I belong to, I'm sorry to say, to continue dominating, yet there is a particular sector that should be sitting with the national economy because they know more about what the loans have got. If you are talking about a road, physical infrastructure should sit with who? National economy.
But Honorable
and
Nathan,
they move together.
Honorable Nathan, as a member of National Economic Committee, for example, you should have signed a minority report and you give.
No, I can't
that
sign a minority
listen to me.
I can't stoop so low.
We work, no, members who sign a minority report are not stooping low. Okay? These are procedural matters. You should have, you should have, I want it to go on record. Members who, a minority report is provided for under our rules. Members who sign a minority report are not stooping so low. Honorable Byanyima, you can make that good. Members are feeling insulted. Ones who
I
signed.
withdraw. But when we are reviewing the rules, the procedure, rules of procedure, we said the beneficiary, the committee, the sector committee, should first go through the loan request, then come and report to national economy and harmonize. Now we are doing things
Honorable
single-handedly.
Honorable Byanyima, Route 214, Sub-Road 11, you're collectively responsible since you didn't express your opinion. So you signed the minority reporting directed by Keep. No, Honorable Minister, please, Honorable colleagues. Honorable Minister.
Thank you so much, Chairperson. Sorry, Mr. Speaker. I also want to thank the Chairperson for the good report and also the member who came up with the minority report with several observations and questions that require my response. And I wish to respond to the minority as follows. One, on list of financing options, Mr. Speaker, this is an EPC plus F arrangement. And in these arrangements, the list of financing options are not applicable. Two, why didn't we go to ADB?
Honorable, if you can give them in detail what is EPC plus F.
The contractor is already...
Because you know the country is watching.
Mr. Speaker, the contractor is already determined. We are looking for money to finance a certain contractor who is going to do this project.
Honorable colleagues, EPC plus F, engineering, procurement, and construction.
Yes.
Plus financing. Okay, for the record.
The second issue is why didn't we go to ADB, which financed phase 1 of the project? Mr. Speaker, the arrangement we have with these banks is that every year they give us what we call a pot. A pot, we put there an allocation for each country, like say Uganda.
Honorable, I asked the minister to clarify issues, please. Please. You can have a chance, okay, to come and bring your issues, but allow the minister to do what I told him to do.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for your wise guidance, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, the pot for Uganda this year under ADB has all been utilized by the SGR. So the money is not available under UDB to finance any other project this year. There's another question. Why are we not looking at the concessional options? Mr. Speaker, we would wish to finance all projects of government under concessional arrangements. However, over time, the concessional windows have been declining. We still have some under the World Bank, under ADB, and the Islamic Development Bank, but still minimal. And if you note, this is where we go for roads, for electricity, for what. So sometimes it gets exhausted when we still have much pressing needs. Mr. Speaker, this is water going to support urban areas. You can see the need is really immense. And when you, yes, there is a need. When I don't do water, you'll come here and say we have not provided money for water. When we provide, you'll say this is expensive. But let me explain that the effective interest rate, as per your report, is 4.5. And Mr. Speaker, if we were to go fully commercial, you had the chance to seek clarification from me when I appeared before the committee. The rules, you know the rules. Mr. Speaker, if you go fully commercial, this would take us, say, 7%, compared to the 4.5% which we are going to borrow at. I think lastly, Mr. Speaker, the cabinet, the project he's referring to, which I don't know where this information is coming from, but the leader of government business is here. I think we have not seen this project, any project like this on the agenda of cabinet. So, but that notwithstanding, we are designing a project called Solar Powered Irrigation Scheme by Nexus Green. And this will be financed. Sorry? What? I'm sorry. Mr. Speaker, this feedback is important. I will, outside, off record, I will discuss with the colleagues.
Yes. No, I think, Honourable Minister, what is very important, you know, no, I recognize the children. I think what is important from the mamas we hear, we approved here on, I think, of $110 million for Nexus Green. So I think members need to be updated on how far you've used, okay? And the moment, yes, and that will be more helpful, okay? So when you talk of a new project before they see the other one working, Honourable Minister, continue.
So I think this is where the 214 million euros will apply under that new project, which is still under design. I think, Mr. Speaker, this is what I can respond to briefly in the minority report. Thank you.
Thank you. Honourable Ayume. No, members of the committee, please take your seats. Members of the committee. Rule 214, sub-rule 1 of our rules. Members of the committee, sub-rule 11. They don't allow. Yes, Honourable Ayume.
Thank you,
Geoffrey Nzima. And Honourable Isingoma. Honourable Tom.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. I appreciate the spirit in which the loan is being procured. However, I would like to re-echo the committee chairman's observation of the 8 million euros for consultancy services. That's about 32 billion shillings. Right Honourable Speaker, 32 billion shillings is half the cost of building a new general referral hospital. So I would applaud that in future we build in-house capacity of most of these MDAs, so that consultancy services, because we have been doing these projects for the last 20 years. By now we should have built enough in-house capacity so that consultancy services are in-house and this money would go to Ugandans. Thank you. Oh, Right Honourable Speaker, and I'm also taken a bit aback that a 6-ton pit latrine would cost 142 million shillings. That's food for thought. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Honourable Nzima.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. My first point is already being spoken by Honourable Ayume, that is particularly the cost for consultancy. I have stood to support the loan because any money got to supply water to our people is very crucial. When you go across the country, most of the areas are still lagging behind in terms of national water levels. But also, Mr. Speaker, I will also want to bring this issue that it will also be important. Some of the projects which were brought earlier, that is stalled because of lack of money, should have also been taken into consideration. There was a rural, integrated rural water project which was undertaken by a World Bank funding. This was supposed to be a 5 years project. In my constituency, in Irodo, Aoba, and Koka, these water sources were drilled, but along the way, government said no, due to depreciation,
we cannot go ahead and pipe all this. These are all been abandoned. And these sources were identified because the water problem in these areas were very acute. Like in Aoba, we have secondary school, we have a market, we have a primary school, and all this. In K, we have health center grade 3, we have a market. All these are the same, for the same case with Coca. So I think as we think of starting new projects, we should have finished what we started. We start things, we leave them on the way, we abandon them, we jump for another project. So I don't know how we're operating really.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Tom.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, also, however much I support the loan, I concur with my colleague that there is earlier projects. For example, Chegegwa district has no water at all. And I remember 3 years back, plus even last year, it was one of the projects to be considered. Evaluation was done, the consultants were paid, what we were waiting for was the money for implementation. Up to now, it's not even reflecting in the report. I'm a bit disappointed because I was expecting it to be part of the project, to be on the table and to be worked on as far as it's concerned. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable Mouma.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm a little confused with the conclusion of the committee's report because they helped us to raise red flags at different points, recommending reviews. They need to review the cost of this, they need to look at the toilets, they need to do this and that. Then all of a sudden, they are saying we approve. I'm imagining after approving, at what point we shall review.
But honorable, they
So
said the subject. They told you here subject. They should go back and renegotiate this. For you finish your part, then government goes back and negotiates.
Right, Honorable Speaker.
That's what they said.
I'm very positive about the purpose of the loan because when I look at the Right Honorable Prime Minister there, when they talk of Bugade, she's saying, of all people, Muma is being hesitant for Bugade. People, Bugweri, to get water supply. But the issues highlighted in the body of the report needed to be addressed before we say, yes, we approve. That is my...
Thank you.
Honorable, thank you.
Thank you. Right Honorable, the Honorable Milton has addressed my concern, but I want to bring it from the legal perspective. And I kindly want to draw your attention, the Minister and the Chairperson of the committee. The motion requires us to approve a resolution of Parliament. The constitutional standard is that you either approve or you reject, because these requests come with specific terms and conditions. So if Parliament says you go and do A, B, C, D, which is not defined, from which unit cost, now to which one? From which financing model to which one? And for us here, we say approve subject to. It has piqued my mind that maybe when Parliament does these resolutions, they should be laid back in this Parliament, and we see. We can easily fall in a trap where you approve a motion, and the resolution that is extracted does not reflect what Parliament has decided. So I really support and I kindly request that you give due consideration to the issue raised by Honorable Mouma, because it's a legal requirement that we must approve with certainty. And that certainty can only be when the committee has said yes or no. In other words, the chair of the committee should help us. It appears the committee rejected. That's the interpretation. They said, do not approve, let them first go back, and once they have the new terms and conditions with the financing, with the unit cost review, then they can come back. So chair should help us clarify that. And then from the minister, I want to know practically, should we approve subject? What happens? Are you going to go to them? And you have said you had already agreed with the contractor in an EPC plus F. Is it possible for you to go to them and then you renegotiate the terms? And when you renegotiate the terms, is that the term that Parliament has approved without Parliament looking at it? That's the issue I also have with this.
Thank you.
So,
Honorable Dur, I thought for us, okay, the terms we approve are with the render. Okay? Then the issues of reduce the cost of toilets, reduce the cost of pump house are with the contractor. Okay? That's, I'm trying to think. Yeah. Isn't that possible, Honorable Minister?
that is correct, but when you look at the observation and recommendation, even touches the rate, the terms of borrowing, the interest rate, that's what the committee said. In fact, they said, renegotiate terms of the loan somewhere. It is said, renegotiate the terms of the loan.
Honorable Speaker, we have done a lot of borrowing lately, and that keeps spiking our debt burden very problematically. It keeps soaring. And again, I don't want to pour cold water on the justification for the loan. Yeah? Water, sanitation, and so on, good projects. But these deep-seated issues have got to be addressed too. I have mentioned severally here the challenge with some of the loans that we approve. Projects fail to kick off, they are riddled with corruption, you don't get quality value for money. Two, we approve many loans here, Right Honourable Speaker, and they remain undisbursed. According to the Auditor General's report, as of December last year, 16.4 trillion shillings is what we had on our financial records worth of undisbursed loans. This is money we borrow, and we are just not ready. Meanwhile, the lender is going to charge you commitment fees. And again, according to the Auditor General's report, which I encourage members to read, we paid as of end of last year over 70 billion shillings. Why? Why are we doing that? It does not make sense at all. Honorable Speaker, you see, let me point to two now technical issues after having mentioned those general ones. The minister is denying what we have in our rules, Rule 162(5)(b), the list of financing options to be considered when identifying a creditor. It doesn't matter that the project is ongoing. You're now on phase 2. There was an earlier creditor, ADB. You have moved away from ADB. Why? What are the new options? Now that you're moving away from ADB, you needed to avail those options. You cannot run away from it by saying, this project is already ongoing, there's already a contractor, and so on. You have moved away from your earlier creditor. That has got to be explained. You cannot run away from it. Two, Right Honourable Speaker, and I'm sorry I might sound a bit pedantic, but it's important. Rule 214, you have been quoting that rule, Right Honourable Speaker. Part of the provision of that rule is for a requirement of 1/3 of all members of the committee to have signed the reports. That threshold has not been met by both the majority report and the minority, because you have 16 and 2. The total members of the committee are 56. So the 1/3 in proper month is supposed to be 19. That's 18. It's less of 1, but I'm saying we need to tick those little boxes too. They might be little, but those are our rules. Here is...
Honorable Senyon, that when they were applauding, they had not yet reached, but the report they gave to me has the signatures, and I can give you my copy. You will verify, members sign.
Maybe if you can help us, so that it's not just
yes.
me, Right Honourable Speaker, how many, because the report that we...
I have 17 members on the main report, and the 2 members on the minority report, making it 19 members.
Then we need to see, Right Honourable Speaker, with your guidance, how this gets to be sorted. At what point do we get to know these are the members that have signed? Because what is uploaded, what we do have, has got less. But then along the way, they forward to the Speaker another one. But here, away from that...
Just let me make it easy. You will upload the one where you have all the signatures, so that it goes on record.
I'm glad you have clarified that. Here is what's even more bothersome regarding this quorum thing. Rule 25 provides that for us to take a vote on any question, like we are about to, we should have 1/3 of all the members who are entitled to vote. That's a number of 177 members. Honorable Speaker, I doubt we have got that number here. Again, I was saying, yes, sometimes they say online, maybe we can be guided. How many people are online so that we see how many are online, but also to access online, there is a procedure of how somebody gets to be ticked that you attended online. So that we tick all these boxes. You see now, you're running away from the boxes we must tick, the procedural issues to do with this loan. You also want to run away from our house procedures. Why? What exactly are we in a hurry to try and do? Why do we not follow the law if you want to get these loans approved? Thank you.
Yeah, honorable colleagues, I can see the numbers that I have online and the numbers I have here, because I had already also checked, they are not sufficient enough. So I won't put the question on this, but that won't stop us from debating and all that. So House adjourned to tomorrow at 2 p.m.